Hi, I'm Dr. Walter Matwychuk, and the purpose of this video is to talk a little bit about what has been referred to as the common cold of mental illness. I'm speaking about depression. Depression can be complex and have multiple layers. In rational emotive behavior therapy, the pioneering form of cognitive behavior therapy, addresses these multiple layers and can help a person out of what I call the rut of depression. Let me give you an example. Let's assume you hate your job and you're depressing yourself about it. I would call that your primary depression. You might think, I really hate this job and I want to leave it and I must escape it quickly. I have to get out. I can't bear it anymore. That's your primary depression. After that comes a secondary depression. You go home feeling depressed, thinking about your lousy job, and then you engage in withdrawal from life. You sit around, you watch TV, you might not socialize, you might eat more, drink more, and this helps you feel good in the short run, but of course has long-term consequences that are unhealthy. This is your secondary depression. The next layer is what I call your tertiary depression. You see that you're not helping yourself. You see that you could push yourself to do some activity that could help you rejuvenate yourself. You see that you could do something to help look for another job, and you're not doing these things. And then you begin to down yourself. You begin to rate yourself a weak person. This is your tertiary depression. The solution to your depression begins with accepting yourself unconditionally. You first need to work at accepting yourself with your self-defeating behavior. Then you can begin to acknowledge that you could push yourself to do something after work that would rejuvenate yourself and restore your well-being. And it might be hard, but you would choose to push yourself, just like you pushed yourself to work, you would push yourself to do these other rejuvenating behaviors. And finally, you might also begin to do something after work part of the time to begin to deal with the primary problem, which is your dislike for your job. You also could use REBT to attack that primary depressive reaction, which is, I really don't like my job, I find it very unrewarding and stressful, and I must escape it quickly. I must escape it immediately. Consequently, what I would suggest you do is use my ABCDE self-help worksheet. You could use a worksheet for each one of these three primary depressions. Now, if you go to my website, rebtdoctor.com, by clicking on the link below, you can see 3 worksheets that I've completed for each level of depression. You will see how I use the worksheet to identify the rigid and extreme attitudes that are found at each level of depression. More importantly, you will see in each worksheet how I dispute or challenge the ideas. And finally, you see how this process of self-reflection leads to a new attitude that will help at each level of the depression and then helps lead you to functional new behavior. I strongly encourage people to use my ABCDEF self-help forms, but unfortunately they fail to do it. I never depress myself about this, but I remain committed to trying to help them push themselves to use these self-help forms. REBT is about self-help, self-directed activity to change your emotions, change your attitudes, change your behavior. And people resist this. They very often have difficulty helping themselves. Nevertheless, I show them unconditional other acceptance, and then I show them how to begin to work at disciplining their mind and helping themselves. I start with the assumption life is very hard. We've all experienced feelings of depression. I'm no different than anyone else. However, I really believe that REBT can help us address the problems of life that lead to our unhealthy feelings of depression, our unhealthy depression about our depression, and our unhealthy self-rating or self-downing or self-loathing. I encourage you to study the worksheets that I am linking this video to, and you will begin to see how REBT can help you. REBT works, but you have to learn to use it. And if you use my website, and sometimes use me too as a resource, you can do far better in life with your depression. Give it a try. See for yourself.